This is 1999 Upper Deck Low Pack number 195. 195. Ew. I made Sam yawn. I totally made him yawn. So Charles, I actually watched a yoga. I used to do yoga by a former professional wrestler named Diamond Dallas Page, and it's called DDP Yoga. So he actually has a thing where he teaches guys how to breathe, and it's a whole different way of how you normally do. It's actually, I've been so used to it. It's like you fill up your belly like a balloon, and then you let it out, and it actually helps with the back. So, 11 on the random. All right, good luck, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. 11. All right. Mark McGwire USA card was one I collected hard. Yeah. I've seen it a couple times. I never really collected McGwire, but I did, when I was 14, watching that home run chase was fun. And I feel like the home run chase in '98 between him and Sammy Sosa was a big reason why, baseball was able to come back from the strike. And I feel like that's why both of them should be in the Hall of Fame. I know they were, they were one-dimensional players. And they weren't the best outfielders or infielders at the time, but they saved the game of baseball in '98, big time. Just nobody was coming to the ballpark until those two started chasing Roger Maris, and then baseball was fun. And Bud Selig, who was the commissioner, he knew what's going on. Nobody tested for PEDs, and Bud Selig's in the Hall of Fame. So if Bud Selig's in the Hall of Fame, I say let every guy, let them all in. That's my opinion. Especially Bonds, Clemens. I think A-Rod's eventually going to get in. I don't know if Manny Ramirez will because he's got 2 failed tests. Tracy Jones? Speaking of Barry Bonds, well, I mean, if you think about Jose Canseco, every person that has been in a Jose Canseco book, yes, Mike, my son does still collect Star Wars, loves it, absolutely loves Star Wars right now. Every person that was mentioned in a Jose Canseco book, and he's written 2 of them. The first one was told all of everybody. Atlanta Braves checklist with a friend of Vintage Breaks, Dale Murphy. So Canseco wasn't wrong. His book was kind of like a screw you to baseball because they blackballed him. Basically, baseball didn't want him being around anymore. Dave Martinez, because baseball kind of looked at him as quote-unquote the godfather of steroids because he was educating people on how to do it right. He's like, okay guys, I'll show you how to do this and I'll show you the regimens, but you're on your own and you guys have to work out too. You can't just take them and just blow up. You gotta actually keep yourself prepared. Larry McWilliams, Ron Darling, and that was the thing. Canseco was a gym freak. He worked out, and that's why he was able to stay away from getting injured so much. Not like somebody like Juan Gonzalez, who forgot that he had to keep working out, and then eventually had serious knee problems later on in his career. Okay, so we got Chicago White Sox checklist with Hall of Famer Harold Baines. Canseco was the funniest guys to watch hit. Yeah, I mean he was an attraction. Luis Salazar. And actually funny too, the Yankees traded for him in 2000 solely to keep him on the bench and away from the Red Sox. They were trying to keep him away from destroying guys like Andy Pettitte and all their lefty pitching. So the Yankees got him off waivers, and then Canseco rode the bench. And I mean, he talks about in the book, he's like, Joe Torre was at least honest and upfront with me. He said, I understand your situation. We're going to try to get you in when we can, but you're going to be a situational hitter. Dave Anderson. But he says, in the end of it, he did get a very nice World Series ring in 2000. So, Ken Williams? 40-40 Club. No. Steroids? See, that's been one of the misconceptions of steroids. Steroids does not teach you how to hit a baseball. Steroids let your body heal quicker from strenuous activities. Because it does not give you hand-eye coordination. Because if steroids could provide you the way to hit a baseball, bodybuilders would be hitting 700 home runs, and they can't. Trying to hit a little teeny tiny little baseball at 100 miles an hour with a wooden bat is one of the hardest skills to ever learn. Mike Moore, so wrong Mariner. Yep. And that's the one thing that Canseco always said in his book. That he was grateful to Joe Torre for at least being honest with him up front when he got there in 2000. Because the Yankees were afraid that if he went to Boston, he was going to destroy them. Mike Heath? And basically, Canseco's book was kind of like him getting back at baseball for not allowing him to try to get to the 500 home runs. That would have probably got him into the Hall of Fame. And Terry Pendleton. So he decided to air out all of baseball's dirty laundry of what they were doing behind the scenes, and especially with steroids. And now that's why we have a PED policy in place ever since 2005 because of Jose Canseco's book. Yeah, it was. I have both of them. I've done extensive research on the whole issue. All right, guys, that was 1989 Upper Deck Low Pack number 195.